I told y'all this was gonna happen.
Verizon.
I tried to tell you.
Live
For
from
years I
outside
told you it
the
was coming,
headquarters of the
but you all didn't
NWO.
listen to me. And now
The
look
world
at
leaders
you.
are
For
now
half of you are
figuring out
dead,
how they're
and then the
going
rest of you
to
that are alive,
tally
wish you
up
were
the
dead,
spoils and
being
divvy them out to each
forced
other.
to do labor. And they
What's
got rid of
happening
all the
at
people who
this
were
very
handicapped or
moment
who had
is the world
diseases.
leaders are
Those were the
coming
first to
together,
go.
realizing that
They went
only
along with the people who
1.6 billion
were standing up to
still
the system.
remain.
The people
They
who
will
were
have a
announcing to the
workforce
system
of
what was going on.
1.5
This
billion
is a shame.
to take
You
care
people
of
should have paid attention. Maybe then you would have realized what was going on and you could have put a stop to it. But no, you didn't want to stop it. You allowed it to continue. You said, do it to me one more time. Do that to me one more again. And look at what happened. They did it to you. Yes, that's right. They didn't just do it to you one time.
It
They
has
didn't
now
just
been
do it to you
discovered
2
and
times.
revealed
They
that
didn't
most
just
of
do it
the
to you
strange
3 times.
diseases were
They did
caused
it
by
to you
the governments to map out their
6.1
agenda.
billion.
The agenda
That's
they
right.
labeled as
6.1
Agenda
billion
21.
people, all
As the
gone
21st
bye-bye.
century
Why?
came to an
Because
end,
they didn't listen.
nobody was the wiser.
6.1
Nobody
billion.
mentioned this.
Isn't that a
Nobody
shame?
announced this. And so
Well,
now we
look at
hail
what
a
they're
new
doing now.
dawn, a new
Making
era
certain
of
areas
supremacy
zones for this and zones for that.
over population.
We gotta go ahead and rebuild the whole place. It's like there was a
This is
nuclear
Robert
disaster or
Horizon
something.
coming to you live
Lord
from
have mercy.
WMCVJ Organization.
Ladies and gentlemen, and ladies and gents. Hey, coming to you this afternoon. Afternoon means that it's after noon. Okay, this sky in the background looks like the sky in my foreground. Okay, so I just want you to know there's a tropical depression. Can somebody help the tropics? Because they're depressed right now. We don't need any more depression in our world. There's so much. Okay, let's continue. All right, ladies and gentlemen, got a lot of information to talk to you about today. First, this is going to be an update on the California event. Want to let you know that we have reserved another 30 seats. That's right, another 30 seats, so we have had them. Hey, could you please open up that partition so we can have more room so there won't be any fire hazards and, there being a limited crowd. So there will not be standing room. We will have enough tables for everyone. So we have another 30 extra seats available. So just giving you that quick update. All of the other information is on the 10/10/2012 video. If you need to know what type of payments are accepted. Why do you only accept Western Union? Why do you only accept MoneyGram? Well, first of all, we're trying to keep your anonymity, privacy, private. So when you do it MoneyGram, Western Union, it gives you a way of making sure you have proof that you paid, just in case you're dealing with some unscrupulous organization. Okay, we're not unscrupulous, are we? No, we're not unscrupulous. But we're doing this to protect your identity so that you're not giving up too much information. Well, Western Union gives up a lot of information. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. But because some people were complaining, we decided to give them the Western Union option. Okay, but with MoneyGram, you can send up to $1,000 for only $4.95. Okay, that's why we did that. Oh, that sounds so good. It makes it seem like you were trying to help the people out. No, we weren't. We were actually trying to make things a little bit more difficult for us so that we would have to jump through hoops and sit up there and whistle Dixie as we walk down the street. Yes. Okay, let's get back to the other information. Ladies, there's an apple. Yeah, I hear that an apple a day keeps everybody else away, like Microsoft and Linux and so many other things. Okay, what we are doing here this afternoon, there's been some misunderstandings. Do we want to talk about the misunderstandings? No, we want to talk about the misunderstandings. The misunderstandings get talked about all the time, but nobody ever talks about the misunderstandings. Yes, because Mr. is always absent. So, we had the Supremes, and now we have Tevin Campbell. And this is Tevin Campbell singing a song called The Break of Dawn. You don't believe me? Let's do this. Tevin Campbell, Break of Dawn. Okay, so we're gonna, now I'm playing. I just like the way this idiot sings. I'm sorry, Tevin's not an idiot because he hasn't done anything, in my opinion, that would make me think any less of him. Yes, I know about all the junk that is talked about in the news, but I don't listen to hearsay. You see, the unique thing about me is you can go out there and kill 85 billion people. And as long as I did not see you do it personally, I don't have an opinion of you. As long as somebody else is saying you did it, I don't listen to hearsay. It doesn't matter, people, what the situation is. I don't listen to hearsay. I don't care to listen to hearsay. I am not a part of gossip, will not be a part of gossip. I refuse, and that was an important step in my life. I realized that I could refuse. I could just simply say no. Don't say no, say no! And that's what I said. I said no. No, you said no. K-N-O-W. You're supposed to say no. N-O. Oh, that's one of those words that sound the same but isn't the same. Has a different meaning. Yeah! Well, I said no. N-O. No, you said no. I don't want to argue with you right now. Let's continue, shall we? All right, ladies and gents. The idea here is we're people. Every single one of us made mistakes, make mistakes, and are going to continue to make mistakes. Why? Because we're stupid. Is that the only reason? Yes. There is no other reason besides stupidity. You can come up with whatever other analogy you want to come up with. You can say imperfection. It still equates to stupidity. You can come up with willpower. It still equates to stupidity. Why? Because all of us have the capability of doing everything correctly. We do have that capability. We may have inherited stupidity from our forefathers, but nonetheless, we have the ability of saying, no, I refuse. I will not do that. I will not put my hand on that hot stove. I'm not going to burn myself. We have the ability of saying no. And all we have to do is learn how to say no. And so I learned how to say it in my own way. I learned how to say, I simply refuse. I just refuse. Okay, now I'm getting ready to go to the post office, so I figured I'd make this quick video, put it up online so that all of you will have access to some information. Over the next week, we'll be doing videos sparingly because we're preparing for the California event. We have new information that we're going to be bringing out to people. And so what we're doing is we're polishing up our act. There's a song that says, I'm polishing up my act. Okay, I forgot the name of the song and I can't think of the rest of it. But yeah, we're polishing up our act. And while we polish up our act, let us tell you what we're polishing. Hey, stop it. See? God. It's just some of the people I deal with, their minds like to travel and venture. This is a lawsuit. And there was a Mr. K. Thank you for sending that lawsuit to me. You have no idea. It is of great importance. Mr. K sent me this lawsuit. He says, hey, check this out. I think it might be of interest to you. This is the Montgomery County, Pennsylvania Recorder of Deeds by and through Nancy J. Becker like the TV show, in her official capacity as Recorder of Deeds of the Montgomery County, on its own behalf and on behalf of all others similarly situated. That's the plaintiff. All of that right there. And MERS Corp. And Mortgage Electronic Registration System Incorporated. MERS. You didn't know what MERS stood for? Well, now you do. Got to cough. Hold on. Been one of those mornings. Now, what are we going to do now? We're going to tell you about this lawsuit. Guess what they did? This is a memorandum and order from the actual judge. This is what Judge CJ had to say. Joyner. CJ Joyner. The Bob Joyner Show. Okay. October 19, 2012, very recently, before the court is a motion to dismiss of the defendant's Mortgage Electronic Registration System, Incorporated, and MERS Corp. Incorporated. For the reasons set forth in this memorandum and motion is granted in part and denied in part. We're not going to go over the whole thing. We want to let you know exactly what's being said here. The plaintiff, the Montgomery County, Pennsylvania Recorder of Deeds, brings this punitive class action on behalf of herself and the proposed class of all similarly situated county recorders. So she brought it on behalf of all the county recorders in the whole entire state of Pennsylvania. Okay? Through the various legal and equitable theories to compel the defendants to record mortgages assignments past, present, and future, and to pay associated fees. See, what MERS has been doing is they haven't been recording the deeds. They've been just recording them in their system, but not with the county records. And many of you know this. Many of you know that the banks are claiming that they do this and they do that and they own this and they own that, and they're not recording it with the county recorder's office. Now, first, you don't have to record it with the county recorder's office. It's not a requirement under law. But they are saying, hey, y'all need to do it like everybody else. Now, it says the gravamen of the plaintiff's claim is that the defendants have created a private system for tracking conveyances of interest in land which bypasses the statutorily created recording system in a manner incompatible with Pennsylvania law. And what does he do? He actually sits up here and talks about the documents that they filed where they stated all of that. Now, typically, residential mortgages financial transactions result in two legally operative documents. Now, notice, this is what the court's saying. A promissory note, a negotiable instrument which represents the borrower's repayment obligation over a term of a loan. And two, a mortgage representing the security interests in certain property which entitles the holder of the note to foreclose on the property in the event of the default of the note. See, that's called a foreclosure. And here is the case that he puts. Okay. Now, what's going on here? MERS enters a mortgage. It says that MERS enters a mortgage financial transaction when the lender and the borrower, named MERS, in the mortgage instrument as a mortgagee, as nominee for the lender and its successors and assigners. You see, you have to name them, but and look, by the way, in the agreement, the borrower and the lender are not the ones who list MERS. You do. You're the grantor. You see, you both can't be the grantor. The lender cannot be the grantor, and you, being the borrower, cannot be the grantor. Look at the deed of trust, because that's where MERS is listed, in the deed of trust. Okay? Okay. Now, let's see what else the court is saying. It says in the mortgage instrument. What's the mortgage instrument? It is the deed of trust. As a mortgagee, the nominee for the lender and the successor assigned. Then it says MERS, and then it talks about all the dumb stuff. But let's go on and see what else they say. The attendant promissory note is sold on to secondary mortgage market. On the secondary mortgage market. No, it is not. The mortgage itself is not sold. It's the mortgage bond that is sold. Because remember, the deed of trust is the mortgage. So the actual deed of trust is not sold. The deed of trust secures the loan. You don't sign a mortgage. Take a look at it. It is not a mortgage. It is called a loan or a promissory note. A promissory note is not a mortgage. The word mortgage, mortal, debt note. Okay. Now, he says over the terms and have many owners. Now, he talks about how they can have many owners. Interesting. So if they have many owners, one owner cannot come and file a claim. All of the owners would have to file a claim, which means that this whole process of foreclosure is illegal if it's got many owners. This is the court saying this, not me. Sale of the note onto the secondary mortgage market principally takes two forms. In one relatively straightforward transaction, the lender who retains a note as part of its own loan portfolio transfers the note to another party for that party to hold it for its own account portfolio. Now, what's the next one? Because he says there are two. In the other, a more complex process called securitization, the note is transferred along with many other notes through several different entities into a special purpose vehicle. An SPV? Oh, I used to have an SPV. That's an SUV, you idiot. No, it's... Oh, you're right. Okay, typically a trust. The trust then issues securities backed by the trust corpse, the dead trust. The notes i.e. the notes to investors. No, that's not how it is done. What happens, remember, a note cannot be a security. A promissory note cannot be a security. Take a look at the Security and Exchange Act, or Securities Act of 1933 and the Security and Exchange Act. You'll see that a note cannot be a security. Secondary market route which the note takes, MERS remains the named mortgagee as nominee. Now, a nominee can be removed, but nobody's doing that for the subsequent owner of the note, as long as the note is held by a MERS member. In MERS! There's a MERS case. There's some other case law here, but we're not going to cover that yet. Matter of fact, let's bring this a little bit higher. We already talked about having several owners. Let's go down. Okay. Before the formation of MERS, the secondary market investors generally required recorded assignments for most transfers of prior ownership interests. What is the court saying here? Saying that's no longer needed. Look, as a result, in 93, I just want so much for that to be a 3. The Mortgage Brokers Bankers Association, MBA, Interagency Technology Task Force, that's a lot, published a white paper at the MBA's annual convention that described an electronic book entry system for the residential mortgage industry. So they published a book. At the time, among other benefits, the mortgage industry MERS proponents claim that once MERS is established as a mortgagee of record, all subsequent transfer of ownerships will be recorded electronically, eliminating the need to physically prepare, deliver, record, and track assignment of documents. Remember, I told you did not have to use the county recorder. Now, if they can record it electronically, why can't we? I'm sorry. I'm asking the right questions to the wrong people. The estimated cost savings for assignment process of a single transfer would be an average of $45 per loan. The defendant, along with other MERS members, developed MERS along these lines. So why can't we do the same thing? So instead of effecting formal assignments of mortgage when MERS members transfers the accompanying notes between one another, the MERS members simply register the change of beneficial ownership in the MERS electronic database. MERS does not oversee the process of updating ownership records in any manner, leaving the task to the members who own the beneficial interest of the promissory note. Some 65 million mortgages in the United States have MERS as original mortgagee as nominee for the lender, including at least 130,000 Montgomery County mortgages. The plaintiff, acting in her official capacity as Recorder of Deeds in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, initiated this lawsuit November 7, 2011. In her complaint, she asserts, what does she assert? That the Pennsylvania Recording Statute 21 PA Stat at 351 requires that all mortgage assignments be recorded. and that the beneficial owner of the mortgage avoid recording assignments of mortgages in favor of tracking changes in ownership on the system created and administered by the defendants. Accordingly, the plaintiff pleads MERS was formed for the express purpose of avoiding the traditional fees due the county recorder of deeds when the sale of assignment of mortgages is made. She further pleads that the absence of these recorded assignments as part of the defendant's avoidance of recording fees both deprive her office and Montgomery County of revenue needed to support the vital public function and creates a deficiency in property records. Based on these factual allegations, the plaintiff asserts claims for negligent and willful violation of the code and unjust enrichment. There's that term again. I suggest some of you look up unjust enrichment. And the declaratory and injunctive relief against the defendants for failing to record mortgage assignments pursuant to the statute. The plaintiff also pleads the factual predicates to assert these claims pursuant to Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 23 on behalf of the class composed of all Pennsylvania counties and the defendants of 1935 to the present have failed to record mortgage assignments and pay all the associated recorded fees for such recording of mortgages. Other actions by recorded-based failure. Okay, let's stop right there. Basically, the judge is telling you the basics of what goes on, but he didn't talk about how the fact that MERS is only a quote-unquote electronic system, that it's not, let's see, it's not legal nor is it illegal. Registering and recording with the county recorder is not required by law. It's required by statute. There's a difference between law and statute. You don't believe me? Do your research. Okay. Why are you bringing this to our attention? Because we want to let you know that everybody's hip to the game, but everybody wants to get their piece of the pie, the piece of the puzzle, the piece of the gingerbread. Statutes replaced with international law. SIGRA. The December 9, 1945 International Organization Immunities Act relinquished every public office in the United States to the United Nations. No, they didn't do that. Yes, they did. Why? Because they're stupid. There's that word again, Mommy. Okay. We are not going to go over this document today, but we're going to let you know that we are going to be going over this document. Why? Because we know, see, the reasons why the law of necessity and full disclosure going to specificity, comes into play in commercial proceedings once you are summoned into any of these private, mercantile, corporate courts. They're all private corporations. December 6, 1933, 49 Statute 3097, Treaty Series 881. Convention of Rights and Duties of States. Congress replaced statutes with international law, placing all states under international law. That's why, pay attention. Pay attention, 1933. Pay attention. We're going to be going over this document because it's going to be helping us understand how we enter the venue of the courts. No. Y'all know how much I love Shanice? Where you at, Shanice? I mean, I just loved it, her. Okay. Whew. Didn't care about Mike Magic Johnson and whatever he was thinking. Wait a minute. Nah, we're not there yet. Yeah, you make my love come down. Nah, let's go to another song. I like Shalimar. Oh, set me free, why don't you? Set me free, why don't you? Okay. So what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to cut this short. We have some more information to talk to you about to let you know the angles that we're going in. Eventually, most of the information that we're researching and going over in the last month and a half, we will eventually put that up on video sometime December, January. Okay, but it will be sometime in the future, and it will be separate from what we're doing on the other venue. We need you to understand something. We will not be discussing, although we want to, we will not be discussing the new Our Style Money orders on video for the foreseeable future. Why? Because we saw what people have done before when we've mentioned this and we tell them about the updated information. They take off running. They just run till they can't run no more. And we can't have that. Because they are really causing damage and we can't allow that. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this short because we have to go to the postie office and we want to get the information out. Again, the California event is still on and we just booked another 30 seats, so we have enough room. We don't need the 30. We have a lot of people saying, I want to come, but you have limited seats. Can I get in? So because we had so many people emailing us, asking us, we decided to do that. That's why we're not doing another, this is how much it is, and it's going to be here, and it's going to be there, and this is going to happen, and that's going to happen. If you want to know about what's going to be taking place at the event, October 10th, 2012 video. Okay? Just that simple, and there's a subsequent video after that that talks about it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, all of you who have contacted us regarding reservations, we've given you a confirmation number, and I'm certain that all of you have received a confirmation number because I'm the one sending them out, and I make sure that everybody gets their confirmation number. If you've not received your confirmation number, please email us at redressucc@gmail.com. Now, we have some people who are emailing us, asking us questions. One person asked us a question on what's the telephone number for such and such. Now, I looked at the title of the website, and I don't remember it being Information 411. I really don't. I go back to the site, and I look at every single line, and I know that I cannot find Information 111, or Information 511, or Information 811. I don't see anything about we're here to provide information for you at your request. What we will not do is do the work for you. We stopped doing that months ago. Take a look at the videos. We're not doing the work for you anymore. We're just showing you what you need to be doing, where you need to be going, if you should choose the need. Hey! I want to get next to me. Okay. This, ladies and gentlemen, Set Me Free, Keep Me Hanging On, that was the Supremes. Now this right here, these are Rolls Royce, and very nice group, y'all. It's one of those, whatever happened? She's gonna be just sitting there for a minute though, and then he's gonna be sitting there, and they're gonna be just waiting on someone. Okay, all right. Everybody needs to see things their way. What are we doing? We're going to try to provide you with more and more information to help you figure out where you should be going. Again, we pointed to the fact that we know that we're under international law. We've been saying this for months. Now we're actually going to use the code to prove that we're under international law. All right. So I'm about to go have a Coke and a smile. I want all of you to definitely take care, and we will get back with you providing more information as soon as we possibly can. Okay, but for right now, we have research to do. So we're just letting you know, giving you this short update that we're going to be out of commission for at least a week and a half. Probably no videos until after November 10th. I said probably, but more than likely there will be at least 2. Okay? Because we got to make ourselves viable. So all of you, take care. Have a good evening. Have a good night. Have a good day. RedressRight.org, the Redress Right organization. And we're at youtube.com/user/redressright. And at Google at redressucc@gmail.com. And that's it. So have a good evening. Have a good night. Have a good day. Have a good afternoon. Have a good life. Have a good morning. Have a good one. We're gone.
This is Robert Masterson.